Hi, hello, and welcome. So, today I'm going to be making my own interpretation of the main six in My Little Pony as human girls. Yeah, let's get into it. Starting off with the first girl, I just did Twilight because, she's the main character after all. For Twilight's design, I'm going to be straight up. I didn't go super unique for Twilight. I feel like everyone in the community slightly agrees that she would probably wear very academia, whether that be light or dark academia. And of course, I added some astrology features into it. I didn't want to step onto Princess Luna's toes and add any moon symbols though, so I kind of just went for some kind of 4-point stars all around her design. I also tried to go for a different body type for all these girls. I gave Twilight what I tried to do, a more boxier kind of body type, nothing super curvy. And you'll see through the other girls that I do in this video that I do the exact same thing. They all have slightly different body types. In my previous video for my Charlie redesign, I went a bit lazy with my coloring, so in this drawing and further to come drawings, I decided that I should put a lot more effort and actually fully color. I am also going to try to use the same pen for all these girls because I have about like 4 to 5 different pens I use when I draw, and they all come out looking extremely different because they're not similar pens whatsoever. One is even like a painting kind of pen that I use. It's like got that canvas texture. So I have a quite different pens that I use when I draw. So I'm going to be using just the default pen in Fire Alpaca to draw all these girls. And I'm going to be doing mainly chunky line art with chunky coloring, just because I find that style to be very fun to draw in. For Twilight's outfit, I did a mixture of many outfits I had found on Pinterest, and I do actually draw a lot of the times when my Wi-Fi shuts off on my computer, so I don't always have like a reference. I usually draw at like 2 in the morning, so I kind of do my best. Some stuff might not fully make sense. I also try to give all the girls different skin colors throughout this. I darken Twilight's skin color a little more later on. Right now I'm just trying to get down all the colors on her face, make sure that I can properly visually imagine how I think she would look. I also want to preface that I'm not making this video to reimagine Equestria Girls. I do think and wish that they had handled human versions of these characters a lot better. I mean, I understand that there's probably multiple reasons as to why they didn't give the characters actual skin colors and just made them their pony coat color from the Ponyverse. But I just think that it would have been so fun to really see. And I also am aware that there's technically official skin coloring for the girls, as there are those like figures. I can't think on the top of my head what brand makes them, but there's these human figures of these girls, so you do get to know their skin color technically, so I guess they have a canon look. But for my design, I'm just going off of fun, what I would imagine. I also slightly imagined that these girls would probably be in college. I don't want them to be high school girls because, I mean, to me it doesn't entirely make sense why the girls would be in high school when... Oh. Okay, the dogs have calmed down now. It doesn't make sense for me, or at least to me, that for them, or at least a lot of people, I feel like this isn't like entirely a unique idea, that it's kind of odd that in Ponyville these are like grown women. You know, they're grown adults and have jobs and such. Like, literally, Rarity owns multiple boutiques, you know? And Applejack runs her business on the farm. And, you know, they obviously have, like, their own stuff going on. They're very clearly adults in my head. So, it was kind of odd for them to make them high school girls. I get that it was probably just to relate more to their younger audience, but I don't know. I think that it would have been cooler if it was a college AU. At least made more sense. Um, so in my head, they're all girls in college, and so I hope that reflects that. So I imagine that, you know, Twilight, like the series would be like Twilight going to school, trying to figure out what she wants to do for the rest of her life, like what kind of career she wants to get into, and then like all her friends already have like ideas for what they want to do. Like maybe Fluttershy would want to be like a veterinarian, or Rarity would be in fashion school and she'd be like studying that. Applejack would be in agriculture. So I just think that there's a lot of different ways that they could go about this, but I think that is a kind of a fun concept that I'm gonna keep in mind when designing these girls. On top of the fact that I want to be more realistic with these designs, not every girl is going to have bright neon hair. As for Twilight, I decided that I feel like Twilight, you know, she's a bookworm. She likes reading. I feel like Twilight wouldn't care too much about how she looks. I feel like she would care to look presentable, as in, like, she would want to get dressed nice every day and brush out her hair. But I feel like she doesn't want to spend a bunch of time dyeing her hair or going to get it dyed. So I imagine that she would just get some, like a peekaboo haircut with the color underneath, and then like maybe some streaks because like her friends convinced her to do something fun, because I do imagine that. Anyways, here's the official design, and I will be drawing mini little like pony versions of them. For the next design, I decided to do Rarity out of request because my sister really wanted me to do her. So for her design, I wanted Rarity to give model. I feel like Rarity would really care about how she looks, and I mean, she does in the show. She's constantly always tweaking her hair and always making sure she looks good. She is the diva that everyone loves, I feel like. And for her design, I really wanted to reflect that. So I decided to give her a more curvier body, but I also want Rarity to be the tallest of the group. I wanted to really give model. If I'm honest, I had a lot of trouble actually designing Rarity. Rarity when I was younger wasn't my favorite. I didn't mind her. I loved her in those videos when she had her solo episodes where it was just about her. I always loved those videos or episodes. But I feel like I love Rarity a lot more as a character now that I'm older, because I was just never into the dramatic type characters when I was younger. So I've had quite the change of heart for Rarity. When it actually came to her design, I had a hard time deciding if I wanted to go just trendy girl or if I wanted to go for a more rich, old-fashioned kind of look, because I just feel like Rarity gives that. She gives that she would be very knowledgeable in previous fashion years, and I kind of imagine her wearing like old Hollywood type outfits. But for her outfit, I decided that because she is a fashion designer and this is going to be a college-inspired kind of AU, I thought that it made more sense for her to dress more her age and be very trendy. I imagine that she would scroll endlessly on TikTok looking at other people's like trends and outfits. I feel like she would really love Pinterest too. So for her outfit, I decided to give her a really cute pencil skirt, and I know I've seen this skirt before, but I think it might just be from Dress to Impress. But it's the skirt with the little ruffles on the side, which was kind of what I was going for the skirt. I don't know how well I did it. I, I, I don't know. I did my best, okay? But pencil skirt with a tank top and a undershirt underneath the tank top with some tights with some pearls on the tights. And then I gave her some big heels because I cannot imagine Rarity without some really cute heels. And unlike Twilight, I decided for Rarity that she would probably get her hair done quite often. Besides the fact that she would probably curl her hair every single day, probably, I feel like she would do heatless curls. I feel like she would go to bed with like the curls in. But since I imagined that she would get her hair done, I imagined that she could actually have her purple hair and she would get it done quite often to get this purple hair. She probably thinks that it makes her look really fancy and rich. And before anyone comes for me in the comments for not making Rarity tan or a darker skin tone, I just thought that the pale would match her coat more. And when designing the characters, their coat color influences the skin color I choose for them. So please don't come for me. I know I've seen so many designs with Rarity having this very beautiful tan skin or darker skin in general. But for mine, I'm going to make her pale to match her coat because that's why I'm coloring all of them that way. During her design, I also decided it might be a fun idea to give her some slight eye bags because I imagine that she would be very tired after running multiple boutiques and such. So I gave her a bit of eye bags, and I also colored her eyebrows purple because I imagine that she would want her hair and her eyebrows to match, and she can definitely do that if she wants. So Rarity has like almost two-toned purple hair as well, and I kind of was a little worried on how I was gonna do this because it felt like wrong not to add both colors of her hair, because it's like one's a magenta-y purple and the other one is like a rich royal purple. So I decided to just add some magenta-y streaks into it, probably for it to be like, she either got like the highlights done or some of her hair faded a little bit. For Rarity's color palette, I went for a very purple, purpley black and a darkish blue. I just felt like when I think Rarity, I think white, black, purple, blue. And obviously the blue stems from like her cutie mark being like these really cute rhinestones. And the purple from her hair. And the white and black, I just feel like are white from her coat and black because I think it's just such a neutral color. And I could imagine her wearing some black for a good undercolor in her outfits. Now I'm finally just getting to the last bits of coloring in her design, which are just the pearls and her shoes, along with her bag, which I do later. This whole portion is really just me finishing up the coloring and adding some more small details to really make Rarity stand out in her design compared to the other girls. Does anyone else often think about the Grand Galloping Gala episodes where Rarity was designing their dresses? Not only was that song super banger, but I get so mad at every single time I think about that episode. I think about how they just treated her so wrong and just completely undermined her beautiful work. And I think about that often. I feel like Mama Pony does the best job at just pissing me off in certain episodes, because younger me, so I used to get extreme secondhand embarrassment, and I still do. And whenever I watch an episode where something's crazy like that, I always cringe and be so mad and upset. Anyways, here's the final design. I decided to give her glasses last minute because it's Rarity. She needs her glasses. For the final girl I am designing, it is Fluttershy. For her body type, I decided to go a pear body type. I decided to give her more thicker legs and a less curvy top. I also wanted her pose to give a very shy, more um, close to herself kind of demeanor, I guess. And I don't know if anyone's noticed, but I do change the background to like match the girl I'm working on. If anyone's noticed that. And if it isn't obvious whatsoever, Fluttershy and Pinkie Pie are my favorites from this series. I love their characters so much, and I love them to this day. About those figures I had mentioned at the beginning of the video, I so want the Fluttershy figure so bad. She is so pretty. Ugh, I am such a huge animal lover, so Fluttershy was always such a big character I really liked because I was like, oh my god, I love animals. She's just like me. And although Fluttershy is my favorite out of the bunch, besides like Pinkie Pie, I had a really hard time designing her actually. I mean, okay, so out of all these designs, because when recording and cutting these down, all the videos and speed frame recordings were about 2 hours to like an hour and a half long. But for Fluttershy, it took me less time, yet it felt like it was the hardest to me because I just really wanted to evoke the kind of character she is because she is my favorite. I want her to look really good. And I just really struggled with her design. I had decided to go with a very cottagecore theme though, as many others do. And I was just thinking frills, very long clothing. I kind of imagine her to be more conservative and wanting to cover herself up a little more, probably just for comfortability. Throughout her design, I also added a shit ton of like bows, kind of to mimic butterflies, because I just really added a lot of butterflies. Later on, I even add like a little butterfly pendant because I just think that I really want her to stand out as butterfly, nature, flowers, cozy cottage girl kind of kind of girl. I think what made this design so hard for me was the fact that I had so many ideas for her. When I think of Fluttershy, I kind of think of, does anyone else know those like 2000s rooms where they had like the swirls and it was like brown, teal, and light brown, or like pink and teals and yellows, you know, like they all had this like very swirly, elegant, very cute. It gives like a 2000s bedroom, right? And I kind of like, when designing her, I had that in my head the entire time. And a part of me really wanted to give her a dress and jeans combo, but decided to opt for a skirt instead because I thought that would be a little more feminine to her. And I wanted her to be very girly and very cutesy. I decided for Fluttershy's skin tone and hair, I decided to actually give her her pink hair and decided to make her tan. I imagined her to be tan with like blonde hair, so I gave her some blonde pinking out of her roots. Maybe that she got busy and she just didn't have time to re-dye it or something. But so I also give her these blonde lashes later because I just think it makes her stand out as a character a lot more. And I love characters who are tan or darker skinned with blonde hair. I think the blonde looks so good on them, so of course had to do that to my girls Fluttershy. Going back to the conversation about My Little Pony pissing me off, I would get so upset whenever anyone is like mean to Fluttershy because like she was just such a sweet girl, and then they would always like Rainbow Dash was so mean to Fluttershy. And I like I know that the point of the series is that like you're learning about friendship and like you know, they're gonna do bad things and they get better. But like, oh my god, I it's not that I hated Rainbow Dash as a character. I love Rainbow Dash, but she genuinely was just not a great friend to them. Like, whenever I watch old videos, I just feel like, damn, why is she so mean? Like, I've met people before who are like, it's just a joke. Why can't you take a joke? And it's like the worst feeling ever. And I really feel for like Twilight and Fluttershy who had to deal with that. And speaking of Twilight, all of her crash outs were kind of valid. I'm just gonna put that out there. She would like have a crazy crash out, and I feel like they were all kind of valid. Back to the design though, I decided after many different colorings for the skirt of a pale yellow, kind of reminiscent to her coat color. And every single time I draw a long skirt like this, I always have a hard time because it's like a giant block of color, and I never know what to fill it with. Because if it's not the right color, then it's like too much, you know? So I'm glad I chose this yellow. I think it ties well with the top having these little yellow frills, and I tied it back in with some teal bows. For her color palette, I really wanted to go brown, creams, and different teals. Her pink being the only thing that really stands out against it. I also just really like pink and green as a combo, so that worked really well. But here is the final design for this video. Tell me what you guys think in the comments about said designs, and tell me if you're excited to see the next 3 girls, if I can get this done. Plan was to get this done in like 3 days, and I did not. It took like over a week because I kept putting it off and getting distracted with school, but we'll see.